שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד. שבת שלום.
Shabbat shalom.
It is such a nice thing to welcome Shabbat together, to welcome Shabbat in community, to acknowledge and celebrate the sacred space that we create together when we come in community. It is also a very special Shabbat, Parashat Emor. It's a special Shabbat. Parashat Emor, a wonderful opportunity to think about our limitations and to think also about the opportunities that we can create within our limitations. And yes, it's a Shabbat of a special communal celebration, rabbinical installation, and community brit, community covenant, which is the most important part. The most important part is that we as community are coming together and writing together the next chapter of our story. And for that, we need each one of us, each one of you, to participate, to sing, to write. So that's what makes this Shabbat really, really a different one, a special one. And with all that said, we'll welcome you again, but I do want to acknowledge the friends that came. We'll acknowledge you later on. That's off the script, but my rabbi, my beloved rabbi, Stanley Davids, is sitting here, and I do want to acknowledge his presence. Raise your hands, Stan. And the Revetson, Risa, is standing here. Thank you for coming all the way from Santa Monica. It's hard to leave the beach.
So you get to spend Hanukkah in Santa Monica.
They live on the beach. You have no idea. It's incredible. So thank you for making that effort, and thank you for all the efforts you made to be here. And Rabbi Josh Weinberg, who came all the way for the length of a Shabbat, all the way from New York City, the sacred city of Brooklyn. So thank you, Josh. And we have other rabbis visiting. We have where's Rabbi Danny? Danny Gottlieb, our transitional rabbi who is here, and of course our own Rabbi P.J. Schwartz. Where is Hugh? Hugh is there. I remember him being there. And Rabbi Hugh, who is a member of our community, but hey, he's also the managing rabbi of all the rabbis in the area. The coordinator, and where is Rabbi Lisa? and Rabbi Lisa, we don't want to do that, but hey, we are very happy to have you here, and of course, my partner, Cantor, standing strong always. So with all that being said, let's sing together. And let's sing together off the script. We'll say the words, Bo'י kala. Can you say Bo'י kala?
Bo'י kala.
Nekavela.
Nekabala.
And the words Lecha dodi likrat kala, you know, right? Bo'י kala, Penei Shabbat nekavela. Bo'י kala, Bo'י kala. Bo'י kala, Penei Shabbat nekavela. Bo'י kala. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekavela. Bo'י kala, Penei Shabbat nekavela. Bo'y kala, Penei Shabbat nekavela. Bo'y kala, Lecha dodi
likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekavela.
Bo'y kala, Penei Shabbat nekavela. Bo'y kala,
Bo'y kala. Bo'y kala. Penei Shabbat nekavela. Bo'y kala.
Bo'y kala, Penei Shabbat nekavela. Bo'y kala, Bo'y kala, Penei Shabbat nekavela. Bo'y kala. At this point, we would like to invite our search committee and the leader, the faithful leader of the search committee, Steve Stein, to lead us in the lighting of Shabbat candles. We'll ask you to first light the candles when you are all of you together here, and then say the blessing, and then you have a text that we will invite you to recite. We will now first light the candles, then we'll recite the blessing, and then we'll read the text.
They're trick candles. I know how to light a candle. Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher
as we come together to light these Shabbat candles, let us reflect on the significance of this moment for our community. Through our collective efforts, we have kept this ever-changing and eternal light flaming, and we have brought renewal to our shared home. We celebrate the efforts and dedication of our community and committee who have worked tirelessly to bring us to this moment. As we look towards the future, let us continue to support and uplift one another, recognizing that each one of us brings a unique light and strength to our congregation. May this Shabbat bring us the rest and renewal we need to continue building together, guided by the light of our traditions and the new songs that are yet to be written by our community. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Toda Rabba. Toda Rabba. Thank you all. We'll now turn our Sidurim to page 130. Lechu neranena l'Adonai nariya letzur Isheinu nekadma fanav betoda bismirot nariya lo nekadma fanav betoda bismirot nariya lo shiru l'Adonai Shir Hadash shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz shiru l'Adonai baruchu shemo pasru miyom leyom yeshuato sabru v'goyim kevodo bechol ha'amim nifleotav ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Page 132. Adonai malach tagel haaretz ismechu im rahavim. Or saru alat tzadik. A light is sown for the righteous, radiance for the upright. Mismor shiru Adonai, Shir Hadash. In Shabbat, we try to somehow recognize the many wonders, the niflaot, as new things that we have in our daily lives. We try to fall in love, to recognize anew our routines. And we ask to set apart all the things that we are carrying and we might not need to carry into Shabbat. We try to lezamer from trimming, not only from singing, to cut aside the things that we shouldn't have with us, to put them aside, to set them aside. And we try to enter this very special space that we create in time. We're on page 134.
Zamru l'Adonai Bechinor Bechinor Beko Zimra Zamru l'Adonai Bechinor
each psalm, each poem, each melody becomes a step in a stairway that helps us ascend and enter this encounter with time. We turn now our Sidurim to page 136 for Psalm 29, Mizmor LeDavid.
מזמור לדוד, הבו לאדוני בני אלי. מזמור לדוד, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז.
Page 138. We come to welcome the bride. לך דודי לקראת כלה.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלם. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמעו וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נשוכה, סוף מעשה ומחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה,
שבת נקרלה. לקראת קהלה,
בני שבת נקרלה, לחלולי,
לקראת קהלה,
בני שבת נקרלה. לא תבושי ולא תקהלי, מה תשתוכחי ומה תהמי, בך יחסו עניי ימים, ונפנתה היללתי לה, לחלולי, לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקרלה, לחלולי, לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקרלה.
בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה,
בואי חלה, לחלולי, לקראת קהלה, לבני שבת נקרלה, לחלולי, לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקרלה. We'll ask you to remain standing for 1 second, and it will be hard to notice this. But if it's the first time that you are here at Shir Hadash, please raise your hand and say your name. Say your name. Stanley Davids and Risa Davids. I'm glad you know your name. Is there any other person? It's your first time at Shir Hadash. There, back there. What's your name? Jessica. Good. It's nice to meet you, Jessica. How are you feeling? And Daniel, what's your name? And all the kids that you have with you, can you please say your names? I don't see you, but I feel you. So if the first time at Shir Hadash, make sure that you share with them some Shir Hadash love. Anyone else that we are missing? First time? Rabbi Weinberg, you were here a couple of months ago. You don't go. But yes, this is the first time you said you were
Yes,
in
you've been here on
also.
Zoom.
Okay. Anyone else? It's the first time at Shir Hadash. Okay. Can you recognize a face that you don't know? Even if it's not their first time at Shir Hadash. So we'll take a moment now to acknowledge each other. We have welcomed Shabbat, we have greeted Shabbat, and now we can greet each other. So make sure that you make eye contact. You say Shabbat Shalom to someone you don't know. Voi kala, bnei Shabbat nekavela. Voi kala, voi kala, voi kala. Voi kala, bnei Shabbat nekavela. Voi kala, voi kala. לחלולי, לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקרלה. לחלולי, לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקרלה. בואי קלה, בני שבת נקרלה. בואי קלה, בואי קלה. Voi kala, bnei Shabbat nekavela. Voi kala, לחלולי, לקראת קהלה, בני שבת nekavela. לחלולי, לקראת קהלה, בני שבת nekavela. בני שבת נקרלה. בואי קלה, בני שבת נקרלה. בואי קלה, בואי קלה. בואי
דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
בני שבת נקבלה. You may be seated. One more song. We will grant to Shabbat, to Shabbos, one more song before entering Ma'ariv. On page 140, Psalm 92, we grant Shabbat. One more song before entering the evening service of Shabbat.
מזמור מזמור שיר, שיר ליום השבת. 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 מזמור שיר, שיר ליום השבת. מזמור שיר, שיר ליום השבת. מזמור מזמור שיר, שיר ליום השבת.
מזמור מזמור שיר, שיר ליום השבת.
מזמור שיר, שיר ליום השבת. מזמור שיר, שיר ליום השבת. יתקרב ויתקדש, page 144. Let me try that again. יתקרב ויתקדש שמי רבה, אמן. ועמד דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בעגלה, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב, וימהרו, אמן. יהי שמרה במברך, ועלה מולו מהמיה, יתברך. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי קודשה בריחו. לילה מן כה ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן ועלמה, וימהרו, אמן.
I invite you to turn your Sidurim to page 146. Please rise for Barhu, the blessing that opens the gates toward the Shema, the blessing that reminds us that in order to hold and to recognize and to acknowledge and to embrace the unity of God, we first need to acknowledge the diversity of our community, of our minyan. We first need to make sure, before saying Barhu, that we have a minyan, that the community is around us. And from that place is that we rise. page 148, or whatever you want.
Or either one, any of. Pick one.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transferring day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai.
Aravim. Turn our Sidurim to page 150.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, שכים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו, ולאומנו נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ומצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו, ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגי יומם ולילה, נגי יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר, ולעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. אוהב עמו ישראל.
Dear God, please never remove your love from us. We invite you to turn your Sidurim to page 152 and to close your eyes. The Shema.
שמע
Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
אמת, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת. אמת, באמונה כל צדקה ים עלינו, כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו, ואין זולתו, ואנחנו ישראל. Amen. We continue with the silent reading over page 156. Your children witness your presence. They praise your name in gratitude. They accepted your sovereignty. Moshe, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyously. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, who is like you, oh God. We are on page 158. Mi chamocha ba'elim כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף פלא, נורא תהילות אוסף פלא, מלכותך ראו בניך, תוקע העם לפני משה גפרונה את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חסך ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. Thus it is said that Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praise are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. We turn our Siurim now to page 160 for the blessing, the prayer for internal peace, as we ask for the ability to be shelters of that shalom, of that peace. Shalom Aleinu, al kol amo Israel ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over the holy city, the city of Shalom, Yerushalayim. Shamru b'nei Israel et Shabbat. It is a covenant for the children of Israel to keep Shabbat and to allow Shabbat to keep us alive. It is a sign from within generations to acknowledge the importance of this holiday and to let the soul of this holiday enter our lives. And as we do that, I will invite you to turn your Siddurim to page 164 for Tfilat Amidah. Please rise as we turn toward Jerusalem, our eternal capital, and as we ask to find center, to find the prayer of our hearts, our Tfilah Shebalev. שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד ויינתן. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. In silence. We love children's voices. We do not like adult voices during Tfilat Amidah, but we do love children's voices. Also that. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני, צורי בגואלי. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. At this point, this time, we take one more moment in this moment of prayer to acknowledge those in our community that are dealing with illness in their bodies, in their souls. We think of those carrying grief. We think of those dealing with addictions. And if there is a name that you'd like to share in this Erev Shabbat, please do so as my eyes meet yours. שלמה. שלמה.
Bruce Roberts, Alfreda Massman, Diane Siegel, Jill Becker, Gail Frankel, Scott Van Gundy, Daphna Talmor, Mira Engel, Dave Stahl, Greg Herb, Murray Siegel, Marvin Lombard, Sherry Stone, Esther Gralnick, Bruce Preville, Lori Shakin, Carol Kennemer, Sue Leiter, Joan Pickin, Carol Zabridger, Bobby Miller, Laura Sternberg, Alora Bond, Richard Ravitch, Bernice Paris, Franklin Wolfson, Beth Linville, Jane Balter. The Mishaberach is on page 371.
To all of you, to all of us, refuah shlema, a complete recovery, and let us say, Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Different speech. It happens. Over the last couple of weeks, we have learned that organizing an installation, Shabbat, and a community Brit can be quite dangerous. So I'd like to clarify, I won't be fixed into any wall, and the word Brit means covenant and not circumcision. So if any... Now seriously, if anybody brought hammers or scissors, please keep them in your bags. It is such a privilege to have reached this moment, and certainly I have in my heart more things than I could possibly say in a Dvar Torah. Therefore, I would like to organize my thoughts under three categories: gratitude, foundational stories. And number 3, the promised land. On gratitude, the Hebrew word ordination, smicha, means both trusting and sustaining, both receiving and offering support. A remarkable aspect of the word trust is its connection with faith. Martin Buber explains that in the book of Genesis, every time we encounter the word ma'amin, believe, it means trust. I stand here today thanks to the faith and trust, not only mine, but also of those in whose hands and spirits I was ordained, and those that have allowed me to become their rabbi and friend along the journey. My parents, my rabbis, my wife, Shir here, my children and family, my friends from different places, and you, my community. While I certainly can't make an all-encompassing list, I would like to mention a few names and groups. Naomi, thank you for organizing this amazing Shabbaton. Shanda and our team, thank you for existing. The same is true for my clergy partners. And of course, volunteers, all of you. We are a community based in volunteership. Choir and sound people, where's Josh? And Mark, and our friends, Chris and Dante. And sound, you and your dedication are the breath of our congregation. I am grateful to our search committee, our board of directors, past presidents, and of course, our founders. I also want to acknowledge my rabbi and rebbetzin. I also have a rebbetzin. You need to understand that. It's not only I have a rabbi, I also have a rebbetzin. Stanley and Risa Davids, who came from Los Angeles and have accompanied me literally all over the world. And my beloved friend, classmate, Hebruta, sounding board, Rabbi Josh Weinberg. And lastly, to Noga, and Amitai, and Nitzan, and Gilad, who are the foundation of my world. I am grateful for all of you. I am grateful for you being here. And I am grateful that I am here. Now, on foundational stories. I was born in Buenos Aires in 1982. As it happened, 41, Chuck. As it happened, one of my mother's closest friends, Ruth, was Rabbi Hans Harf's daughter. Rabbi Harf was the founder of my childhood synagogue. Since my family was not very large, we were always invited to share all the Jewish holidays at Rabbi Harf's table that happened to take place at Ruth's house, which was bigger. Rabbi Harf was a never-stopping machine, avid reader, humble, loving, and a true shepherd. The truth is that I never called Rabbi Harf Rabbi Harf. I knew him by the name of Opa. German for grandpa, and that was his figure in our lives. I loved walking with him from our synagogue to Ruth's house. It was probably my favorite part of the holiday. And little did I know of the privilege I had growing up. Nothing I knew next to such a giant. During the first years of his life in Argentina, Rabbi Harf and his wife used to walk around with a pot full of food and distribute it to Jewish refugees newly arrived from Europe. They used to put money aside during the week, so every Saturday they could go to a local coffee shop and pay the cost of 15 cups of coffee and get a room for the Jews so they could come and learn Torah. I had the privilege to grow up in the amazing community they built, 15 cups of coffee at a time, and that since has housed thousands of B'nai Mitzvahs and weddings. When Rabbi Harf passed away, several eulogies were published in the local Jewish media. One of them indicated that Kristallnacht was the defining moment in Rabbi Harf's life, and that it propelled him toward Jewish activism. The eulogy explained that this was also true for many Hochschule teachers and students who witnessed the violent pogrom on November 1938. On that fateful night, numerous Hochschule students were present, and along with them, their teachers. They were all paralyzed with fear. The sound of chants calling for the death of Jews filled the air, while stones were hurled and windows shattered all around them. Rabbi Liebeck took charge of the situation and ordered everyone to pick up one of the stones that had been thrown. In a commanding voice, he declared, "We pledge today that each one of us takes one stone thrown by those who persecute us, and when we get the chance to escape and settle in other countries, each stone will become the cornerstone of a synagogue or a Jewish school." If there's something, by the way, the OPA built two giant communities in Buenos Aires. If there is something I learned from my personal journey, from my rabbis, and from the founders of Shir Hadash, is that community is built one cup of coffee, one brick at a time, and that transformative enterprises are carried on the wings of faith, hope, and trust. They are born in the courage to believe in order to see. Which leads me to my third point, the Promised Land. We are during the days of the counting of the Omer, the 49 days that connect between the moment of the Exodus and Ma'amad Ar Sinai, the giving and receiving of the Torah at Sinai. During rabbinical times, the first 32 days of the Omer became days of mourning in acknowledging the 24,000 students of Rabbi Akiva who died by plague. But on the 33rd day, in Lag BaOmer, the plague stopped. Starting on the 33rd day, there was no more mourning. The Berdichev rabbi offers a beautiful connection between the end of the mourning in rabbinical times and the Exodus. He says that on the 33rd day of the journey in the desert, was the first time, the first day in which the Israelites didn't want to go back to Egypt. That was the end of their mourning. One would say, but come on, it shouldn't have been that hard for them. After all, they were coming from Egypt and slavery. On the other hand, there is something very reassuring and comforting in the reality we knew, and something very unsettling in the uncertainty of a promised but unknown land. Now, if transitions have a mourning aspect, even when you are coming from a negative place, I think that we all can understand how challenging transitioning can be when you are coming from decades of communal love, growth, and remarkable rabbinical leadership. And so, it takes a great deal, once again, faith, hope, and trust. Let's remember these three words: faith, hope, and trust, to decide that we want to walk forward and that it is our turn to believe and walk. I have a last word, in number 4, surprise. The nature of communal life is not to make it to the promised land, but rather to keep dreaming about that promised land together. If one day we come to the conclusion that we have built the community we wanted and that's it, that will actually be bad news. It will be bad news for all of us because it will mean that we have built a museum and not a community. The nature of a progressive community is dynamic, is to always keep walking while linking ourselves with our traditions and at the same time embracing and rising up to what this time is presenting to us. And finally, about this time, I am deeply humbled by the honor that has been granted to me of being Congregation Shir Hadash Senior Rabbi, to follow and join a chain of great visionaries, innovators, activists, and doers. I pray we will be able to grow in spirituality, Torah, community, and activism. I look forward to sharing in each other's lives, to remembering the dreams of the past and dreaming the ones of the future, to singing new and old songs, and to building community with you. The next chapter begins when each of us shows up with their foundational story and stone, and when we communally decide with faith, hope, and trust that today we are walking forward. Shabbat Shalom. We will now invite the board of directors to join us to count the Omer. So if you are a part of the board of directors, we are going to count the 30th day of the Omer. We would like to invite you to come up. We are going to open the ark together. Where is the Tfilat Haderech? Please rise as we open the ark. You can find the words of the
570.
page 570 for the counting of the Omer. Ineni muchanum zoman, ineni
Mukhanum zuman, hineni mukhanum zuman, lekayem mitzvot aseh.
Ineni muchanum zoman, ineni muchanum zoman, ineni muchanum zoman, lekayem et mitzvat aseh. I'm almost there. Let's read together. I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, betzivanu al tzfirat haomer. Ayom, today is the, I said that, 30th day of She'em. How many weeks? Arba Shabbat and? Why are you looking at me? Simple math, Mr. President. 4 weeks and 2 days of the counting of the Omer. And check, it's about being at the yalla, dai, 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 dai. Yai, dai, 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 yai, dai, 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 yai, dai, dai, page, dai, dai, dai. We will now turn our Sidurim together to page 649. As we enter this journey, and as we are counting days, and on the 33rd day, the day in which we decide that we walk forward. It doesn't mean that we don't look back. It means that we walk forward. Page 649, we will dive in together with our choir, the blessing for the traveler, the blessing for the journeys.
May we be blessed as we go on our way. May we be guided in peace. May we be blessed with health and joy. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. May we be sheltered by the wings of peace. May we be kept in safety and in love. May grace and compassion find their way to every soul. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. Amen.
We will now turn our Sidurim to page 587 for Aleinu Leshaveach.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לאחד את שמו, בגורלנו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, עד קדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
יישר כוח.
You may be seated.
שבת שלום, תודה רבה. שבת שלום, תודה רבה. שבת שלום. מי זה נראה? אני זנדי. שבת, my friend. שבת שלום.
If you are in the first 7 days of mourning, Shiva, please rise and share with us who you are remembering. Who told you that? If you are in the first 30 days of mourning, Shloshim, please rise and share with us who you are remembering. If you are in the cycle of the first year of mourning, please rise and share with us who you are remembering. If you have a yahrzeit this week, an anniversary of someone's passing, please rise and share with us who you are remembering. The congregation offers its condolences to Art Shir on the death of his sister, Marilyn Graben. Those who have passed within this last year: Alan Feigen, Jonah Anschel, Sharon Lowenbraun, Sheila Bamberger, Dr. Grace Deutsch, Clarissa Glotzer, Stefan Borenstein, Richard Kennemer, Ethel Schenker, Varda Satchi, Rabbi Tlalit Shavit, Jack Long, Virginia Larson, Miriam Moore, Bob Sturman, Lenora Wang, Adam Richard Spilka, Shlomo Isips, Howard Levine, Barbara Lombard, Claire London, Drago Herman, Merle Greenwald, Samuel Grinwald, Anita Komula, Bryce Lyon, Edna Stone, Miriam Davis, Lauren Janovich, Janet Wall, Charlene Kilgore, Ezra Sati Satchi, Gideon Hoffer, Alvin Kramer Siegel, Vlasta Vijanovich, Galina Buturina, Karen Imbalzano, Lillian Berman, Robert Bruce Myers, Abraham Karras, Scott Safadi, Norman Green, Marilyn Silverman, Leslie Heinall, David Green, Jeannie Porish, Estelle Abrams, Spencer Caney, Arthur Cherdak, John Ivers, Marilyn Handelman, Kay Dameron, Nira Marome, Andrea Cameron, Ziba Feruzin, Rosella Newton, Linda Sherry, Fred DeCastro, and those who died at this season in years past: Mimi Siegel, Darwin Chen, Harry Alabaster, Margie Gordon, Marian Eppinger, Milton Freeman, Mitzi Crown, Norman Milstein, Richard Leeds, Samuel Brunner, Stanley Rosenbaum. And now you can support our community by standing or sitting, joining us with your voices or your hearts for Kaddish Avilim, the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei t'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lomei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar, v'yit alev, v'yit halal, shemei kudesha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya v'chayim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen.
May the memories of your beloved ones be always a blessing in your life. Yeah. Zichram Baruch. You may be seated.
It's our pleasure to invite up Andy Altman, our temple president, for some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm just going to do a few highlights. Everything is on the brochure. Rabbi Davids, I'm very sorry, the rain, we have a light crowd tonight, but usually it's a bigger group. Yeah, well, so am I. Okay, so upcoming, right after services, oh, hold on, I see Naomi giving me the look. The 2 art projects are ongoing. There is coloring on the chuppah, and there's this stone doohickey thing out in the front. Now, the meaning of, see, people laugh. The meaning of doohickey comes from a very, very deep-seated Yiddish word. And we're going to talk about that in the Tish after this. But in the meanwhile, do not forget these art projects, because Naomi will have my head.
By the way, we just changed the name of the Tish to 6 rabbis, a cantor, and Andy.
I'll be here all week.
And Mr.
All right, now let's get through this. We have the Tish with Rabbi Josh Weinberg, Rabbi Stanley Davids, Rabbi Danny Gottlieb, my man from Vegas, is in, Rabbi Lisa Levenberg, Rabbi Yu, Rabbi PJ Cantor, and of course, I'll be there serving drinks. Tomorrow, we have story study with Rabbi Josh, and Rabbi Nico has been telling me how wonderful this is going to be, so no pressure, Rabbi. 15 cups. Then at 10, okay, that's 9:30. At 10:30, we have Shabbat morning services and the formal installation of Rabbi Nico. At 12:30, we'll have a community lunch celebration. Wonderful. And then at 4:20, who knows what happens? And by the way, you dope smokers, no, that's not what we're talking about. 4:20 tomorrow, anybody? The Kentucky Derby, exactly. And we'll be taking bets outside while it's Derby Day. All right, now, never give me a microphone.
So true.
Yeah. All right, now, Sunday, the congregational meeting.
1 p.m. the panel with
Yes, the
Rabbi.
panel.
1 p.m. the panel. It's not on my list. It's at 1 p.m. the panel. The panel is going to discuss
The Declaration of Independence of the State of Israel that became controversial, and we specifically will discuss an article that Rabbi Weinberg wrote in the book of Rabbi David. So,
and see, now I feel bad about the Kentucky Derby nonsense. So
that takes place after that.
Yeah, I'll get over it. Okay, now, on Sunday, the congregational meeting, I promise no jokes at the congregational meeting, maybe one. And then, hold on, that's at 10:15. At 11:45, a big fundraiser. It is Splash Rabbi PJ in the splash tank. What is it, a dollar a throw? Dollar a throw, and I'll tell you what, if you want to buy $10 worth of throws, I'll throw in a bucket of ice into the water. A big bucket, Rabbi. All right. Then, so the Shir Hadash family play date at 12:15, also on Sunday. So Sunday's a big day. Wednesday the 10th, the Pirkei Avot study group. You know, you study Pirkei Avot between Pesach and Shavuot. My rabbi taught me that. Yeah. No, I know, but I just want to make sure that you knew that I knew that. All right, and then there's got some preview stuff. Men's Club Shabbat is next weekend, right? Where's Jack? Next weekend. Next weekend. There you go. And Rabbi Schwartz's celebration is May 20th and 21st. We will not want to miss a fine send-off for Rabbi. Shabbat. Oh, yeah. The Onix out in the lobby. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So we will now invite Rabbi Danny to lead us in Kiddush. We have a cup, we have a rabbi. And of course you can say a word.
Can you stop a rabbi from saying words?
Shall we sit or remain standing, Rebbe?
It was on. Oh, there it is.
Most of the time, when Kiddush is chanted, people think that we are saying a blessing for the wine. But the Kiddush, the wine is simply the vehicle through which the blessing acknowledges the holiness of Shabbat. Acknowledging holiness is such an important part of Jewish life because our spirituality is enriched and we are drawn closer to the Holy One of Blessing when we are able to recognize the potential of holiness in ordinary things and to invest in ordinary things that holiness. And that's what we do on Shabbat. We take just one of the days of the week, which, if we didn't invest it with holiness, would simply be another day. But we seek out that holiness and we invest it in the day. And we create a holy space, a holy moment in time. The wine is a symbol of joy, we know. It's also a symbol of clarity and sweetness. And those who really enjoy their wine know that the first wine of the season is sweet, but that over time, the wine matures and really becomes something very special. So it is with rabbis. The first taste is sweet. And over time, they become rich and special, and to be cherished. Your rabbi will help you to seek out and discover holiness in ordinary places and to invest those ordinary places and moments and things with holiness. And in doing so, he will draw you nearer to the Holy One of Blessing and be a source of enrichment for your lives and for this community. And so, in saying a blessing over this wine on this Shabbat, you'll know that you are truly blessed.
Please rise.
ויערב ויבוקר יום השישי, ויחולו השמיים וארץ וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות.
סברי, לחיים.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו, בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת עם כל העמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו.
ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
L'chaim, l'chaim. We will make sure that nobody leaves this space without a blessing. We invite you to stand next to your family, next to someone you have a loving relationship with. And if you don't know, just make sure that you stand next to someone. Make eye contact with someone, adopt someone, the third. Okay, fine. That's fine. So we'll make sure that nobody leaves this space without a blessing. We acknowledge the loving relationships that we are building. Josh, you can adopt my children a little bit this week, and you can go on the other side if you feel lonely. As we think of the worlds, the loving relationships that we are building, we think of our children. We have a moment to think about how we somchim, how we put our hands, our trust in them. How we place our hands over the things that we believe in. As we say, may God inspire you to be like the loving parents of the house of Israel. ישמחם אלוהים כאפרים וכמנשה, ישמחם אלוהים כשרה רבקה, רחל ולאה. And we say to all of them, יברככם אדוני ואיש מרחם. May God bless you and protect you. יאר אדוני פניו אליכם ויחונקם. May God's light shine upon you and may God be gracious to you. יישא אדוני פניו אליכם. May you find within you always God's presence. May you recognize the stories that you want to carry in order to build your home in the world, in order to build our community. May you walk the path with faith, with trust, and with hope. And may God gives you its most beautiful gift, the gift of wholeness, the gift of shalom. וישם לכם shalom. Adonai os le'amav iten. May God bless all its peoples with the courage and the strength to be creators, to be makers of peace. Adonai יברך את עמו בשלום. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. מבורך everybody. ועשו לי מקדש ושכנתי בתוכם ענן. Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
You can stop it, fine. Ay, la, la, la. Ya, la, la. Ya, la, la, la. Ya, la, la, la. Ya, la, la. Ya, la, la, la. Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat shalom. You're awesome. Thank you, thank you. Especially excited about Torah.
Nice to meet you. Shabbat shalom. Yishar koach. Yishar koach. Yishar koach. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Yeah, איזה יופי.